how SAMR can be used for purposeful use of educational technology. You know that SAMR is a great framework for thinking about technology and how it can be best used in a teaching environment to bring about transformational learning opportunities that wouldn't be possible without the technology. So, what I'm going to encourage you to do is to think about a lesson or activity that you have commonly done in your classroom. Something that is kind of your go-to lesson that you do to teach a certain content area. And we're going to walk through the process of evaluating that lesson to see where it falls within the SAMR model and also what we can do to move that same lesson up through the levels of SAMR to make it more of a transformational activity. Now, if you refer to the SAMR model over to the right here, you will see that the SAMR model moves from enhancement of an activity to transformation of an activity. So when you're looking at the substitution levels and the augmentation levels, you're looking at technology being used strictly to enhance what's happening. It may make the activity more fun. It may make it might make it like replace something that you've already done on paper, but it really is not changing the lesson, it's just enhancing it a bit. When you move up above the imaginary line, remember the line that goes right through the middle of the model, you're looking at more at lesson transformation. So this kind of moves into tech allowing for things that could not have happened without technology being present. So it would not make that learning opportunity possible before. So think about your lesson here, and you see these same words over here, enhancement when we look at substitution and augmentation, transformation when we look down here at modification and redefinition. And this flow chart's really going to help you think about that. So think about your lesson, and if the technology is just a substitution activity, so it's purely enhancing the activity, then you need to kind of rethink that model. So thinking about, I want to use technology in my lesson here, and moving down, could this activity be completed without tech? If your answer is yes, then you didn't get anywhere by using that technology. It may have really enhanced the activity, made it a little more fun for the students, but it really didn't transform the instruction. So if you can include technology in a way that you could answer no, that it could not be done in a non-tech way, then you're on the right track. So if you would say partially, you'd move over here. If your answer is no, we'll start with this track first. If your answer is no, it could not be done without tech, you're on the right track and you're ready to move down to here. If your answer is partially, you are probably moving into the augmentation phase. And then you need to ask yourself, is this an augmentation activity, but the use of technology is still just enhancing? It might have a few more bells and whistles, but it's still just enhancing. If that's the case, you're going to move down and try to develop the task further to include online collaboration with experts or a way for students to share their work online to receive a critique or some kind of feedback. Sometimes it ends there, and that's okay. You're moving it to a bigger audience. You're adding that collaborative piece, which is one of the 4 C's, very important. So sometimes your lesson just kind of falls in that augmentation phase. It's improved. It's not just a substitution activity, but you're really still just enhancing, and you've not moved above the line. If you said no to that question, that it could not be done without tech, then you're ready to move on. And it says, have you designed the task to use technology to bring a transformational learning opportunity? If you say no to that, then guess what? You're back in the augmentation phase again. If it did not really transform it, again, still enhanced, you're still living in here. If you said partially, you can move down, and this modification level, it involves multiple applications. So it kind of gets it above the line a bit because they're having to do multiple things. And if you move over here, it says it is very likely to have involved online collaboration with peers also. So now you have multiple applications and online collaboration. And then it gives you an idea for transforming your lesson further. to allow for critiques, to work to improve on the students' work, which is good. That's a good collaborative skill, even bringing in some experts there. If you said yes, that the technology that you brought in transform the learning opportunity, then you're moving into the redefinition phase. And it says the task is likely to be at the redefinition level and will have some key elements to it. And then you move over here to this transformation. And this is where it gets really in depth. It would provide opportunities for online collaboration. It would be for an expanded audience, not necessarily just for their peers in their classroom. It would involve more of a global effort, more of a broader range effort of collaboration. Would the student get expert feedback? That might be one of the key elements that would kind of define a redefinition lesson. With the innovative use of technology shared, could be like a narrated tour or something, or a shared lab result with another school to compare findings and those kinds of things. Again, that global audience, creating a website to share with a global audience, creating a blog to share with a global audience, not just the peers within the classroom. That's what transforms the lesson. That's what that collaborativeness, that getting feedback and processing that feedback in a way that improves learning. That is what makes a lesson that has been transformed through the use of SAMR. So hopefully this flowchart helps you. You can get this back out and refer to this when you have an activity about where am I falling here and what can I do to make that a little bit, to move that into the transformational stages. Please keep in mind that not all lessons we do are going to fall in the redefinition stage. I mean, technology is great and it affords us a lot of opportunities, but a lot of the lessons that we do, and depending on the age of the child and depending on the learning outcome, the goal that you're trying to reach with your students, the modification area, that's above the line instruction as well. So don't get so hung up about trying to stay over here. Really think about what you can do to get above that line and use the technology for more than just an enhancement of the lesson, to more transform it. But please bear in mind that you won't always land in this total redefinition phase. So I hope this flowchart helps you, and I hope that you'll be able to use it as a resource in the future. And I would like for you to look at the example of a redefined lesson from an elementary classroom at Yorktown Elementary to kind of get an idea of what it looks like at that level. Thank you.